US Secretary of State Antony Blinken and Defence Secretary Lloyd Austin will reach India next week for the 2+2 Ministerial Dialogue in New Delhi. The US delegation will meet with India's Minister for External Affairs, Dr. S. Jaishankar, Minister of Defence Rajnath Singh and other senior Indian officials. The 2+2 Ministerial Dialogue is being held annually since 2018. The current talks are taking place against the backdrop, of course, of tensions between the US and China. The New Delhi discussions are expected to focus on both bilateral and global concerns and developments in the Indo-Pacific region. The meeting also comes at a time when the world is witnessing another war in West Asia, where India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi, in a strongly worded statement, condemned the terrorist attacks and said India stands in solidarity with Israel at this difficult hour, while India also supports the establishment of an independent state of Palestine.
India call itself as a voice of South. Palestine is some part of South. Palestinians are oppressed people. Palestinian, they lost their territory. So India can, first of all, considering its good relation with Israel, its good relation with Islamic world, it can play a constructive and strong role in to reach to ceasefire at this stage, to stopping this bloodbath which is going on in the Palestine.
In a statement issued by the US State Department spokesperson, Blinken's trip to India will come at the end of more than a week-long trip to West Asia. The US State of Secretary's visit to West Asia, the Secretary of State, should I say, will include stopovers in Jordan, whose relations with Israel have sharply deteriorated over the Israel-Hamas war. Jordan has recalled its ambassador from Israel, saying that ties will not resume until Israel suspends its assault. Blinken has also spent some time in Jordan during a trip last month after the October 7th attack by Hamas militants on Israel. He will also be travelling to Israel for meetings with members of the Israeli government.
Secretary Blinken will travel to Israel and Jordan on Friday. The Secretary will meet with Prime Minister Netanyahu and other leaders of the Israeli government to receive an update on their military objectives. In his meetings in Jordan, the Secretary will also underscore the importance of protecting civilian lives and our shared commitment to facilitating the increased, sustained delivery of life-saving humanitarian assistance to civilians in Gaza, the resumption of essential services, and ensuring that Palestinians are not forcibly displaced outside of Gaza.
Blinken is also travelling to Japan and South Korea as well, where Tokyo has already denounced Hamas's assaults and the harm they brought to civilians in Israel. However, unlike its G7 partners, which focused on the issue of Israel's defence, the Japanese government emphasised the need for both parties to exercise maximum restraint and express concerns over Israel's airstrikes. While Seoul is urging the swift and peaceful resolution of the conflict, fearing regional and global spillover, the Yoon government is also careful not to take sides. Well, for more on this, international affairs expert Mr. Greg Svensson joins us now live from London. Many thanks for your time this morning, Greg. And the Secretary of State obviously set to visit West Asia on his second trip. What's changed since he last visited and what's he trying to achieve here?
Well, I think what he's trying to achieve is keep a coalition of support for Israel and for the United States and their support of Israel. I think that's a wise move. Antony Blinken's first instinct, if you recall, on October 7th was for appeasement or, to call for restraint. I think that was a mistake. He took it down. He backpedaled on that. You saw the natural response from some of the US and UN agencies calling for restraint. I think that's before they were really able to capture what really happened on October 7th. And I think once he did that, he repositioned his view to be much more supportive of Israel. I think they'll still call for restraint. I think they'll still call for, for some kind of pause, humanitarian pause. But unfortunately, a humanitarian pause is either a surrender to the terrorists, or it's just a chance for Hamas to rearm. And so I think, I would hope that he has the strength to keep the support consistent. I think any sense of incoherence or inconsistency, and I think we saw that with Ukraine, where there's been real incrementalism, not actually giving the support that they need immediately and doing it in an incremental fashion. I hope that's not the case. So far, so good. I think he's done his best to keep that coalition together. So I'm not sure what to expect. He's no James Baker who kept the coalition along with George H.W. Bush in Desert Storm 1, or the first Gulf War. I don't know that Secretary of State Blinken has that commanding presence, but I do think it's the right move for the U.S. and for the Secretary of State.
International affairs expert, Mr. Greg Svensson, many thanks for your time and your insight this morning.
Thank you.